How's it going, Talking Sports fans? I'm your host, Andrew. Welcome back to another episode. We are on episode number 31. Thank you all for tuning in today. Have some great stories for you guys today, including a bringing back of an old segment, Contenders and Pretenders, this time with the NFL and playoff and Super Bowl contenders. Also have the most surprising teams in the NBA right now, and then we have Week 11 takeaways from the NFL as well, and a couple other stories that I have sprinkled in there as well. Chris Paul will be wrapping up his 21st season in the NBA, an incredible stretch of a career for Chris Paul, including just being on several great teams. I mean, he was on the Clippers this year, he was on the Spurs last year, Warriors in 2023, and he was on the Suns from 2020 to 2022. He was on the Thunder from 2018, from 2019, 2017. I was on the Rockets, I believe as well. He went back to the Clippers after being with them team in 2021, 2011, and then he got drafted by the New Orleans Pelicans. At that point, were the New Orleans Hornets back in 2005. So it's been a quite an illustrious career for Chris Paul, and I don't think he's won a championship yet. It's been a long time, and he still hasn't won a championship. I remember he did get to the finals with the Suns back in 2021 against the Milwaukee Bucks, and he was not able to come out on top. But regardless, 12-time All-Star is absolutely incredible for Chris Paul. So congratulations to Chris Paul. I imagine this won't be the last time we're talking about him and his retirement. Knowing me and Miles, we're probably going to talk about this at the end of the season when Chris Paul does play his final game in the NBA. So congratulations to Chris Paul on his incredible career in the NBA. Moving on, we got a pretty big MLB offseason update. Now, a couple of days ago on November 21st was the non-tender deadline. For those of you who don't know what the non-tender deadline means, is that teams have the opportunity on November 21st to offer players that are in the pre-arbitration era of their career, or they are arbitration eligible, and they have to be offered a contract for 2026, or they will be heading or offer them a salary arbitration to head into arbitration cases, I believe later in February. So on November 21st, that was the deadline. And how this works, especially for the pre-arbitration players, is that in your first 3 years of being in the MLB, your MLB service time, you have this MLB service time amount, and that kind of decides your contract status. In your first 3 seasons in the MLB, you'll be under renewable contract or tenders. You'll be eligible to be a tender day contract by the team, and essentially the teams have a lot of control over you. They can pretty much just offer you a contract, and the player really does want to probably sign that unless they're going to really want to go test the market as a young player, which you don't see very often. And from your third to sixth season, so fourth, five, and six, those seasons, those 3 years, you will be up for salary arbitration, which you get to actually negotiate with the team on your salary for the next season, or the teams can just not offer you a contract, and then you'll become an unrestricted free agent. After you clear those 6 seasons of arbitration and pre-free agency status, then you can officially go out into the free agent market and fully negotiate your contract with an agent and a team. So guys like Cody Bellinger, he's already done this before. He's been in free agency a couple times, but back in 2021, he was non-tendered by the Los Angeles Dodgers. I believe it was his fourth season in the MLB, so he was non-tendered by the Dodgers. He signed with the Cubs, and after showing out with the Cubs in 2023, I believe he signed a massive contract extension in the arbitration period, because that's something you can do in the arbitration period. Teams can either sign a one-year deal with the player to avoid salary arbitration, because realistically, teams do not want to go to salary arbitration. They want to re-sign guys to a contract so you don't have to deal with that. Or you can sign a long-term contract extension, multiple years that can even last into your first couple years of when you can be an eligible free agent. So those are some examples. And on this date, November 21st, so all the players that are in their first through sixth seasons in the MLB and not having completed 6 seasons of MLB service time, they are under team control, and they can be tendered a contract by those teams. And a good amount of players were not tendered contracts and some notable names as well. And we've seen some big guys not be tendered contracts in recent years, like Austin Hayes, a All-Star in 2023 with the Orioles, was non-tendered last year. In 2024, same with Kyle Finnegan, who was a competitor for reliever of the year this year with the Detroit Tigers, was non-tendered by the Nationals. He did end up re-signing with the Nationals for some odd reason. So, but I'll give you a list of the names that were non-tendered after November 21st. So I'll just kind of go by team here in alphabetical order. So from the Angels, Gustavo Campero and Sebastian Rivero, catcher, were non-tendered by the Angels. Infielder Ramon Urias, who was a Gold Glove winner, was non-tendered by the Astros. Former top draft pick JJ Bleday was non-tendered by the Athletics. Former Cy Young contender with the Blue Jays, now with the Braves, Alek Manoah was non-tendered by the Braves along with Carson Ragsdale. The Brewers did not non-tender anybody. Jorge Alcala, John King, Yohel Pozo, and Sem Reberse were all non-tendered by the Cardinals. Catcher Reese McGuire and Eli Morgan were non-tendered by the Cubs. From the D-backs, Tommy Henry and Taylor Rashi were non-tendered. From the Dodgers, Nick Frosso, former top prospect and former reliever of the year competitor Evan Phillips, were non-tendered by the Dodgers. From the Giants, catcher Andrew Kisner and pitcher Joey Lucchesi. I think it's Lucchesi or Lucchesi. I can't remember. From the Guardians, Nick Enright, Sam Hentages, former standout reliever out of the Rule 5 draft, and outfielder Will Brennan were non-tendered. From the Mariners, Gregory Santos, Taylor Saucedo, and Trent Thornton were all non-tendered. From the Mets, Jose Castillo, former top prospect of the Pirates, Max Kranick, and left-handed reliever Danny Young were all non-tendered. From the Orioles, Albert Suarez was non-tendered. From the Padres, Omar Cruz and Sean Reynolds. From the Phillies, reliever Michael Mercado and Daniel Robert were all non-tendered. From the Pirates, outfielder Alexander Canario, relief pitcher Colin Holderman, reliever Dowry Moretta, and infielder Ronnie Simon. And from the Rangers, this is where things really get interesting. Three of these guys, they were on the World Series team back in 2023, and it's very interesting that these guys were non-tendered. Outfielder Adolis Garcia, who won ALCS MVP that season. Jonah Heim, a catcher that was a part of that World Series team. He was the starting catcher. Reliever Jacob Webb and Josh Sabors, who got the final out of the World Series in 2023. Those three guys were non-tendered, which is insane to think about. And I want to focus specifically on Garcia and Jonah Heim. Teams are going to go after them. I mean, they have wealths of experience. I mean, Adolis Garcia can bring a lot of power to a roster, especially in the outfield. Maybe not to the same extent that he did back in 2023. So teams are going to be looking to jump on him and his power, possibly as maybe a platoon outfielder, a guy that can come in as a depth guy at this point in his career. That's kind of where I think Adolis Garcia may be. And then for Jonah Heim, I mean, a team can't have too many catchers. And Jonah Heim, a switch-hitting catcher, plays good defense, can hit at a really high level. He just hasn't done that in these last couple seasons since 2023. Teams are going to be all over him as well. So very interesting that Adolis Garcia and Jonah Heim are all non-tendered. From the Rays, outfielder Jake Fraley and outfielder Christopher Morel were all non-tendered. Those two guys are going to get offers from teams because they both have a lot of power, kind of as platoon bats. From the Red Sox, another guy that was part of the Rangers 2023 World Series team, first baseman Nate Lowe is hitting free agency once again, and reliever Josh Winkowski. From the Reds, catcher Will Banfield, reliever Rodri Munoz, and reliever Carson Spires, they were all non-tendered. From the Rockies, former top prospect, first baseman Michael Tolia was non-tendered. Very interesting. He's going to get a lot of offers as well. He's a young first baseman, young first base switch hitting hitter, so he's going to be getting a lot of offers. From the Royals, reliever Taylor Clark and outfielder MJ Melendez, former top prospect of the Royals. Interesting as well that he was non-tendered as well, but he hasn't been producing as they would have hoped. From the Tigers, they have a lot. Right-handed pitcher Dugan Darnell, right-handed reliever Jason Foley. Very interesting. Foley was a very good reliever for them this year. Very interesting that he was non-tendered. Left-handed pitcher Sean Guenther. I believe I'm saying that name right. Infielder Andy Ibanez, right-handed pitcher Jack Little, right-hander Tyler Matson, and right-hander Tanner Rainey, who was a part of the Nationals 2019 World Series team. From the Twins, outfielder Deshaun Kersey, Jr., and from the White Sox, left-hander Cam Boozer, first baseman Tim Elko, and outfielder Mike Talkman, the Sockman. Interesting that Mike Talkman was non-tendered because he had a very solid season as well. And finally, from the New York Yankees, right-hander Michael Arias, right-hander Jake Cousins, former Milwaukee Brewer, right-hander Scott F. Ross, right-hander Ian Hamilton, and right-hander Mark Leiter Jr. So a bunch of relievers hitting the open market from the New York Yankees. All these guys are probably going to get offers. They're probably going to sign with somebody, maybe outside of someone like Tanner Rainey because he's a little bit older. I believe he's going to be entering his age 35 season. So maybe he won't get an offer, but all these guys are probably going to get offers somewhere else because most of these guys, at one point or another, possessed some kind of talent, and they do. In my opinion, they do, and they've had solid seasons before. So, in my opinion, these guys are all going to get contracts very, very soon. So, let me know down in the comments what you think of all these non-tendered players. If any of these guys surprised any of you, especially Adolis Garcia and Jonah Heim definitely confused me a little bit more, especially now the Rangers are going to be rocking with Kyle Higashioka behind the plate. I don't know about that. I think Jonah Heim's a way better option than Kyle Higashioka. Moving on, I want to talk about the most surprising stories right now in the NBA. We're already a couple weeks into the NBA season. The NBA Cup is about to enter its elimination phase. So I think this is a good time to take a look at all the good surprising teams and the bad surprising teams. So I'm going to start out by talking about the Eastern Conference here. First off, who had any thought that the Detroit Pistons would be 14-2 entering today? I mean, that is absolutely insane. I mean, Jalen Duren is absolutely having a breakout season with the Pistons. Caden Cunningham is proving to be the number one overall pick from a couple drafts ago. And this is all without Jay and Ivy, by the way, as well. So the Pistons really firing at all cylinders. Get that joke? You guys get that one? Okay. Anyway, also, the Toronto Raptors are up at number 2. I did not have a lot of confidence in the Toronto Raptors because right there with that roster, they invested a lot of money in that starting five. I was not confident that they had the depth on that roster to really compete long term. But right now at 11-5, we're 16 games into the season, and they're doing pretty good. They're not quite on the same level as the Pistons. I mean, the Pistons are 14-2. They've only had 2 losses, which is just absolutely insane. They've won 12 straight. I mean, they lost 2, won 2, and then they just won 12 straight in a row. I mean, that's absolutely insane, guys, what the Pistons are doing, by the way. So the Raptors, I'm still not entirely high on. It's a long season. You never know. Scotty Barnes has dealt with injuries. Jakob Poeltl as well as struggled with injuries. So I'm not going to immediately say that the Raptors are back to championship level team like they were in 2019, but I mean, the Raptors are really firing off really well. The Cavs are up there. The Miami Heat are up there as well, 10-6, which I did not expect that, especially without Tyler Hero for a good portion of the season. I was not expecting that at all. They're above the Knicks and the 76ers, which I had no idea what that would be. But I mean, the Eastern Conference is low key very competitive. I mean, the Chicago Bulls are at 9-7 are at 9 right now. I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks and Boston Celtics are 10-11, and the Bucks right now, oh boy, they've lost 4 in a row and they're down to 8-9. Man, that hot start really just kind of vanished like that. Oh man, that sucks. Looking at everything else, I mean, the Washington Wizards are 1-15. The Pacers are 2-14, but I don't think anyone was really expecting anything else. The Hornets being 4-12 is not a very pleasant surprise. They have a lot of talent on that roster with LaMelo Ball, with Concanupple. Concanupple has been playing amazing so far this season as well, but lack of depth on that roster as well. They've been decimated by injuries as well. I think they don't really have a center right now. I think they're kind of rolling with Ryan Kalkbrenner as a rookie, so we'll see how that's going to keep working out. But yeah, there's a look at the Eastern Conference. But yeah, Pistons and Raptors being 1-2, and then you have the Wizards and Pacers at the bottom with the Celtics and Bucks at 10-11. Yeah, who saw that coming, I guess. That's insane. But looking at the Western Conference now, I mean, the Thunder are 16-1. Yeah, I don't think anyone else could have not expected that. The Thunder are absolutely incredible. They're coming off that NBA Finals, the NBA championship. So I can't say I'm not surprised, but I'm looking at this Western Conference like, man, it is not competitive right now. I mean, the Trailblazers and Grizzlies are in the final 2 play-in spots at 7-9 and 6-11 respectively. I mean, the Western Conference not looking so good. I mean, you're going to give bad teams the chance to advance through the playoffs. like some really bad surprises are the Kings at 4-13 with all that talent they have on that roster with Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis. Like I thought they would be so much better, but oh man, the Kings, what is going on? And the Pelicans, unsurprisingly, at 2-15, like that, man, all they put in, they really put their chips in the center of the table when they were coming off a season where they were close to being at the bottom of the league last year. I mean, they had the fourth worst record in the Western Conference. So I don't know what you could expect. I mean, I kind of find that to be mind-boggling that they are not worse than the Wizards. I thought the Wizards would be a little bit better than the Pelicans, but man, that just shows how bad the Wizards are in this case. Besides that, the Suns at 10-6, a little interesting. I didn't think they would be able to compete right off the bat. The Spurs and Lakers are up at 3-4. I was not expecting the Spurs to be this good, but 11-4. Yeah, the second year of Wemby is truly taking off this season. And yeah, besides that, very uncompetitive Western Conference, it looks like. I mean, the first eight, like fairly competitive. I mean, you have the Warriors at 9-9 right now, which the Warriors fans cannot be too happy about that. But besides that, Western Conference not looking so good so far through the first 16 or 17 games in the NBA season. So again, it's a long season, long way to go. I'm probably going to reevaluate this at around the All-Star break, just to see where teams are. But I mean, for teams like the Clippers, yeah, they gotta pick it up, especially the Kings gotta pick it up if they wanna compete. I don't see the Grizzlies or the Trailblazers being a play-in team at this point. I don't see the Jazz being a fringe play-in team at all. I don't see the Suns being able to last this long. I can see the Warriors and Timberwolves easily skyrocketing up very, very quickly, at least on the Western Conference side of things. In the Eastern Conference, I'm not gonna put all my chips in yet on the Raptors. It's a long season. I don't know how much depth they truly have on that roster. I don't know about the Heat either, but I mean, if they're at 10-6 right now without Tyler Hero, I can only question what's yet to come for the Heat. I don't think the Bucks are truly this bad. I think when you get Kevin Porter Jr. and Giannis back, I think the Bucks will be a lot better. I mean, Ryan Rollins is absolutely carrying right now, but that team just isn't able to score enough points and keep that defense intact. So the Eastern Conference, though, very, very competitive. I mean, you have the Magic and the Hawks at 7-8, at 10-7. I mean, that's just insane, guys. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what you have found most surprising this season in the NBA so far this year. Now we're going to move on to week 11 of the NFL. My takeaways from it, we did start to see some of the good teams start to break away from the pack a little bit more, which is good to see. I think that is a good thing for the NFL to have those high marquee teams, and we did really see who the bad teams were and maybe some of the flaws with the good teams. But without further ado, these are your week 11 NFL takeaways. First off, we have Thursday Night Football between the Jets and the Patriots, and in Foxborough, in Massachusetts, the Patriots handled business against the Jets. Drake May led the way to a 27-14 victory over the New York Jets. Drake May went 25 for 34, 281 yards and a touchdown. Trayvon Henderson on the rushing side of things had 19 carries, 62 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A very good day for him. Stephon Diggs as well, 9 receptions, 105 yards. I don't think he racked up a touchdown. Looking at my notes, no, he did not rack up a touchdown. It was truly the Trayvon Henderson show on that side of things. But Trayvon Henderson also had a receiving touchdown. He was one of the top targets on the receiving side of things for the New England Patriots. Moving on, we had the Washington Commanders versus the Miami Dolphins. And without Jane Daniels, I mean, this game was just not very, very good. It went into overtime. It was a 16-13 victory. Yeah, both these teams are not very good right now. Commanders again without Jane Daniels. The Dolphins are the Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel at the helm for that team. It's just not very good for the Commanders right now or the Dolphins. So this was just an absolutely ugly game. We have the Packers and Giants in New Jersey. The Packers are able to hang on to a 27-20 victory. Like, what is it with the Packers in 27, guys? This actually makes no sense at this point. I mean, Jordan Love bounced back after a pretty rough week, but he did not have his greatest game. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, 13 for 24, and Josh Jacobs did go down with an injury. Jordan Love did as well. Jordan Love had to exit early with an injury, I believe, to his arm. So Malik Willis had to come in, only had 2 passing attempts, but completed them both and did get a touchdown. But Josh Jacobs had to exit early for the Packers. He's going to be actually out today against, I believe, the Minnesota Vikings, so that's a huge loss for them. But Christian Watson caught 2 touchdowns. He was the leading receiver. Actually, excuse me, no, he wasn't. Romeo Doubs was, but Christian Watson had the most touchdowns on the team. Manuel Wilson had a touchdown as well, but the Packers were able to hold on off the Giants. Jameis Winston actually out through Jordan Love, but 19 for 29, did have an interception. Tyrone Tracy led the way, 19 carries, 88 yards. Isaiah Hodgins was just a menace all day. He was the leading receiver for the New York Giants, but it was not enough for the Giants to take out the Packers, 27-20. Another ugly game. The Texans, led by General Mills, once again, a 16-13 victory over the Titans in Tennessee. Not a particularly very good game. We have the Panthers and Falcons, another game that went to overtime, and the Panthers in Atlanta were able to hang on and beat the Atlanta Falcons 30-27. Michael Penix actually exited with an injury in this game as well, and I think he's going to be done for the entire season. So Kirk Cousins is going to be the guy that's going to have to fill in for the rest of the season. Bryce Young had one of his best games of his career. 31 for 45, 448 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Did get sacked 5 times. That's not great, but, that offensive line for the Carolina Panthers. But Rico Dowdle actually kind of got shut down in this game, but Tetairoa McMillan, 8 receptions, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Xavier Get had a touchdown as well. Really, all the damage was done through the air for the Carolina Panthers as they moved to 6-5. Falcons now, they moved to 3-7. Yeah, just not very, very good. Bears versus Vikings. The Bears were able to squeak out a victory 19-17 over the Vikings in Minnesota. Another tough loss for Vikings fans as the Bears actually continue to improve their season to 7-3. I think J.J. McCarthy did not have a very good game. Yeah, he had 2 interceptions. Caleb Williams wasn't particularly great either, 16 for 32. Yeah, not very good either. But DeAndre Swift led the way. Kyle Monangai had a touchdown. But yeah, a very ugly game as well between the Bears and the Vikings. The Chargers and Jaguars. The Jaguars are able to shut down the Chargers 35-6. Trevor Lawrence did not have his best game, but it really was Trevor. It was it was the running back room that really got done. Travis Etienne had 2 touchdowns. Bayshaw Tootin was the leading rusher, had a touchdown as well. Jacoby Myers was the leading receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So overall, the Jaguars were able to shut down the Chargers no matter what. Bills versus Buccaneers in Buffalo, very high scoring game. Josh Allen had a great game. Looking at his stats, 19 for 30, 317 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not very good for him. James Cook had another game where he just could not get anything going. Tyrell Shavers was the leading receiver for the Bills, had 4 receptions, 90 yards, and a touchdown. James Cook did have a receiving touchdown along with Ty Johnson. And besides that, on the Buccaneers side of things, Baker Mayfield just really does not have a lot of guys left on that roster. 16 for 28, 173 yards, a touchdown, interception, and a sack. Sean Tucker was the leading rusher, 19 carries, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Baker did have a rushing touchdown as well, but Sterling Shepard was the leading receiver, but it was not very, very good. Emeka Egbuka was also in there. Sean Tucker had a receiving touchdown as well. Yeah, just that entire Buccaneers offense does not have a lot of guys left. They're really trying to get healthy, but they don't have anybody there right now. So the Bills were able to beat the Buccaneers 44-32. Steelers beat the Bengals 34-12. Aaron Rodgers did get banged up in this game, so I believe Mason Rudolph will be in this week for the Steelers at starting quarterback. But regardless, Steelers 34-12 victory over the Bengals. Joe Burrow should be back for the Bengals very, very soon. It may be too late to save their season, but who knows at this point. 49ers and Cardinals in Arizona. Cardinals, I believe, with Brock Purdy back at the helm, had 3 touchdowns in his return. Christian McCaffrey also had a pretty solid game. George Kittle had 2 touchdowns. McCaffrey had a receiving touchdown. And Brock Purdy, he had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, only got sacked 1 time, 19 for 26. A very good game for him. For the Cardinals, Jacoby Brissett, 47 for 57, 452 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Nothing going for the rushing game. Michael Wilson had 15 receptions, 185 yards. Jeez Louise. Trey McBride had a touchdown. Greg Dortch also had a touchdown as well, but wasn't enough for the Cardinals to hold off the 49ers. Rams versus Seahawks, a rubber match between two division rivals going at it at the front of their division. The Rams were able to hang on and beat the Seahawks 21-19. Jason Myers just came up just short on a 61-yard field goal for the Seahawks to come up with the victory. Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions in this game. That was not very good. Not very good. Not very encouraging for Seattle fans. But he did have 279 yards. Just don't like to see that. Kenneth Walker actually had a rushing touchdown. I never thought I'd see the day when that would happen. JSN led the way for the Seahawks, 9 receptions, 105 yards, no touchdowns. A.J. Barner, 10 receptions, 70 yards as well. But for the Rams, Matthew Stafford, 15 for 28, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams had 12 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown as well. Puka Nacua was the leading receiver for the Rams. All things considered, a minimal offensive game, really anchored down by both defenses, but the Rams were able to just outscore the Seahawks just enough to pick up the victory. And I believe they now are ahead in the NFC West division at this point. Broncos versus Chiefs, another kind of low-scoring game. The Broncos hold off the Chiefs 22-19. Patrick Mahomes didn't have his best game. Bo Nix did not either as well. Kareem Hunt had a touchdown on the rushing side of things for the Chiefs. Same with Travis Kelce on the receiving side of things. He was the leading receiver. For the Broncos, nothing really going on the rushing side of things. And yeah, I really don't know how they got this one done at all. It's just, I guess they were able to outscore the Chiefs just enough. But yeah, not very high scoring game. Very interesting game between two division rivals. The Broncos continue to have their lead or extend their lead on the division. Ravens versus Browns in Cleveland. Ravens beat the Browns 23-16. Lamar Jackson did have 2 interceptions in this game. I believe Shedeur Sanders also got in this game for the Browns as well. He made his NFL debut, and it wasn't great. He threw an interception, got sacked twice. Yeah, it wasn't good overall for the Cleveland Browns. Very low-scoring offensive game. There's a couple stinkers this week overall. Derrick Henry did have a good game for the Baltimore Ravens, 18 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. Mark Andrews also had a rushing touchdown, 1 carry, 35 yards, and a touchdown. Oh man, that's kind of funny to see that stat pop up there. But yeah, Ravens 23-16, they are back to 500. That's very crucial in a AFC North that with the Steelers just losing Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see how the rest of the season unfolds. Sunday Night Football between Lions and Eagles, very low-scoring game. Eagles 16, Lions 9. Nothing really going for both offenses. Jared Goff did have more passing yards, but did also have an interception. So that is interesting. But yeah, Saquon Barkley had some rushing yards, 26 carries, 83 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 5 receptions, and 107 yards on the receiving side of things. Jameson Williams had a receiving touchdown, but that was all that the Detroit Lions had going. Besides that, Jalen Hurts had a rushing touchdown, but yeah, nothing really going for both offenses in this game. Very, very big snooze fest on that side of things. And finally, for Monday Night Football, Cowboys versus Raiders in Vegas. Cowboys trounced the Raiders 33-16. Geno Smith had another interception. Dak Prescott had a very good game, 25 for 33, 268 yards, 4 touchdowns, had 1 sack as well. George Pickens had a receiving touchdown, same with CeeDee Lamb. Jake Ferguson, Ryan Flournoy, I believe that's how I say his name, had a touchdown as well. So very good offensive game for the Dallas Cowboys. Held the Raiders to 16 points as well. That is not bad at all. So there you go. That is your big takeaways from the NFL Week 11. Let me know down in the comments who you think the best teams in the NFL are at this point, and I can't wait to see what Week 12 has in store for us today. But now to wrap up this episode, sticking with the NFL, I am bringing back an old segment that we had earlier in the year, Contenders or Pretenders. Now this time, I'm going to be talking about the division leaders and all the teams that are currently at this point in the playoffs right now. So I'm going to be going through all the division leaders, some of the wild card teams that are kind of in the mix as well. and maybe some teams that have had recent success as well. So starting with the AFC and the AFC East, the New England Patriots, they are obviously Super Bowl contenders. 9-2 record. Drake May is leading the way. He is having an incredible sophomore season with the Patriots. That offense is firing on all cylinders. That defense is very, very good with Mike Vrabel at the helm. Patriots are easy contenders as well. For the Buffalo Bills, yeah, they are very confusing as well. I mean, 7-4 haven't been good as of late. They did just get a very convincing win over the Buccaneers, but that is also with a Buccaneers team that does not have a lot of players left on that offense, and that defense isn't particularly great anymore for the Buccaneers. And they did just lose to the Dolphins. The Bills did. So not very sure about the Bills, but I'm going to still say they are contenders. However, they do have to clean a lot of things up if they do want to continue contending in that AFC East division. Moving on to the AFC North, the Steelers and the Ravens are the two teams I want to focus on. The Steelers, I think, are pretenders. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to be out at least for this week. I don't know how long he's going to be out with that wrist injury, but that defense hasn't been good as of late. That offense has been inconsistent. They're only 6-4, and the Ravens have an easy schedule coming up behind them. The Ravens are now 5-5. I don't know if the Steelers can really hang on. I do think they can get to 500, but I don't know if they are true contenders in the AFC. So I think the Steelers are pretenders. Now, as for the Ravens, I'm going to say they are contenders. 5-5 may not be a contending looking team, but they have won 4 straight games with Lamar Jackson returning as well. Derrick Henry may be starting to find his stride as we go on in this season. The defense is starting to improve just a little bit more. I could see the Ravens truly being one of the better teams in the AFC North and being one of the better teams in the AFC overall. So I'm thinking that the Ravens, they're contenders. I think the Ravens can get back to a Super Bowl. A lot has to go right, but I think the Ravens are the team to do that. So the Ravens are contenders. Steelers are pretenders. In the AFC South, we have 3 teams here that are very, very interesting. Starting with the Indianapolis Colts, who are 8-2. Yeah, they are contenders. I mean, Daniel Jones leading the way feels illegal to say at this point. I shouldn't say Daniel Jones. I should say Jonathan Taylor. He is leading the way for that Indianapolis Colts team. Is a perennial MVP candidate. Daniel Jones as well has been very, very solid. Tyler Warren in his rookie season has been very, very good. Michael Pittman Jr., that defense, now adding Sauce Gardner, I think will only continue to get better. The Colts are easy contenders at 8-2 right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they are another interesting team at 6-4. Trevor Lawrence, he's looked good, he's looked bad. You know that meme where it's sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe not so good. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking of when I see the Jacksonville Jaguars. That offense, inconsistent. They did add Jacoby Myers. Brian Thomas Jr. has not been very consistent this season. Travis Etienne has been really the only consistent part of that offense, being a consistently very productive running back. For the Jaguars, I don't think they are true Super Bowl contenders. I'm going to say they are pretenders. And I'm going to go the same route for the Houston Texans. That offense, now without CJ Stroud, even though Davis Mills has looked very, very good winning his last 2 games, I'm just not sure if the Texans can continue doing this. But that defense, though, that defense is very, very good. The offense still has a lot of work to do, but they have a good plethora of receivers. The running back room, needs some work as well. And CJ Stroud, he's also very, very good. I have a lot of faith in him, but that offense is very, very questionable. I have the Texans being a pretender as well. Now for the AFC West, 3 teams once again. We have the Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs. For the Broncos at 9-2, leading the division, they are obviously contenders. Offense is a little suspect at times, actually not at times, all the time. They really only like to play in the fourth quarter, but Bo Nix has been very, very good with Sean Payton on that offensive side of things. Running back room is a little interesting. Wide receivers are very productive as well. That defense is very, very solid. Broncos are easy contenders as well, leading their division right now. For the Los Angeles Chargers, yeah, sorry guys, you are a pretender as well. 7-4. Justin Herbert is getting hurt as well. The offensive line is decimated by injuries. Running back room decimated by injuries. I know Amari and Hampton should be coming back very, very soon, but I don't know how much they can do. They are 7-4 right now, but I don't know if they are true Super Bowl contenders at this point. And that defense, meh, overall, that defense has been. So I think the Chargers are pretenders as well. And for the Chiefs, they are pretenders. They're at 500, 5-5. Patrick Mahomes has not been playing like Patrick Mahomes as of late. Running back room, mid overall, just absolutely mid. Defense has not been as good as previous years. The offense with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, no wide receivers whatsoever. Rashee Rice has not been doing anything. Xavier Worthy has not been doing anything. Kelsey's really been the only consistent guy on that roster after a very subpar season last year. The Chiefs are pretenders. I think they can still compete for a playoff spot, but yeah, right now 5-5, not doing it for me. The Chiefs are pretenders as well. Moving on to the AFC East, there's really only one team that I want to talk about here, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles at 8-2. And you might be thinking, oh, Andrew's just going to rattle them off as a contender. No, I'm not. The Eagles are pretenders. At 8-2, that record does not make sense. Their defense, very, 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 very good, with Vic Fangio leading the way. That offense, absolutely putrid. I mean, Saquon Barkley has been hot and cold at times. Jalen Hurts has not been Jalen Hurts this season. A.J. Brown may be wanting a trade in the offseason. Yeah, this Eagles team has not been very good. That offense is obviously holding them back. They've also have a ton of injuries on that O-line. That offense for the Eagles scares me so much. They are clearly not contenders at this point after their Super Bowl run. They may be 8-2, but those victories are ugly victories, and you can't have ugly victories in the playoffs to get you to the postseason. I have the Eagles being a pretender. And moving on to the NFC North, three teams that really I want to put into focus here. The Bears, Packers, and Lions. The Bears, I want my Packers bias to really say the Bears are pretenders, but I'm not sure if I can do that. I think the Bears may be contenders for the Super Bowl. At 7-3 on a 3-game winning streak, Caleb Williams has been operating that offense very, very well. DeAndre Swift has been a very solid running back. The wide receiver and tight end room has been very, very good. It's very, very deep with talent. The offensive line, a little suspect as well, but it's overall held up very, very fine to this point. That defense, it's been good as of late. They did just get a very convincing win over the Vikings, who do have, in my opinion, a pretty solid offense as well, led by Kevin O'Connell. So I think the Bears are contenders at 7-3, but a long way to go right now. Now moving on to the Packers at 6-3-1. I don't know what to put them as. I don't know, because the Packers offense, it's looked good, it's looked bad, it's looked really, really bad. Their defense has also looked good, but it's also looked really, really bad at times. I don't think the Packers are Super Bowl contenders this season. Miles might disagree with me. He might have to yell at me after I post this episode. But yeah, I don't think the Packers are Super Bowl contenders right now. They need to figure out everything they have wrong on that offense. But at the same time, 6-3-1, it's not bad. They have the same amount of losses as the Bears. They just have one less win. Screw it. I'm changing my mind. The Packers are contenders. That offense, maybe a little bit suspect, but that defense is still very, very good. Jordan Love is still fine. That running game led by Josh Jacobs, even though he's hurt this week, is still very, very good. They did lose Tucker Kraft in that tight end room, but they have a lot of depth there. They have a lot of depth at the wide receiver position. Packers are contenders as well. And same for the Detroit Lions, 6-4. I don't think that record really tells the full story of the Lions season. I mean, that Eagles loss, I don't think was truly a loss to them. I think that offense is way better. I think that defense is really, really good as well. A lot of good defenses this year in the NFL, which is very, very interesting. That's something that's very interesting as well. But yeah, Lions, very solid offense led by Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They did lose Sam Laporta this season, so maybe the Lions are kind of in a similar situation as the Packers right now. But yeah, right now, that defense, though, is very, very good. So the Lions are contenders as well. All three teams in the NFC North are contenders. This division can shift overnight in just like 2 weeks. It's going to be very, very interesting. The NFC South, we have the Buccaneers and Panthers, the two teams I want to focus on. I really don't think these two teams are contenders. Neither of them. The Panthers, their O-line, really, really bad. Their defense, not very good. Bryce Young and those wide receivers are leading the way along with Rico Dowdle, but they still have so many holes on that team that they just cannot really be considered as Super Bowl contenders right now. And for the Buccaneers, just so many injuries. I don't think they are contenders either. I mean, Mike Evans is done for the season. Chris Godwin still hasn't played a down this season. Bucky Irving is still trying to come back from injury, but still hasn't made his return. That offensive line is mid. Baker Mayfield is really trying to lead the way with Emeka Egbuka on the roster as well. But right now, the Buccaneers just have nobody left. That defense is still not entirely great. Yeah, the Buccaneers are pretenders as well. And finally, in the NFC West, three teams really kind of emerging themselves as contenders in this division at least. The Rams at 8-2, they are contenders. Matthew Stafford putting himself in the MVP conversation. Devontae Adams has been a reliable wide receiver along with Puka Nacua as well. Tight end room has been very good with Tyler Higbee. running back room with Kyron Williams, who has been on the field a lot this season, hasn't missed a game. He's been very, very good. That defense is absolutely incredible for the Rams. Yeah, they are easy contenders as well. For the Seahawks, I think they're contenders as well, but Sam Darnold does scare me. That defense is equally as scary for the Seahawks, but that offense, they still have a little bit of things to work out, but Sam Darnold has been very, very good this season. Kenneth Walker, very good running back. Wide receivers led by Jackson Smith-Njigba has been very, very good this season as well. So the Seahawks are contenders. And finally, the San Francisco 49ers at 7-4. This is a tough one as well. They have a lot of injuries to that defense, but they've still been able to consistently compete with Robert Saleh as the defensive coordinator. I think the San Francisco 49ers are contenders as well. That somehow they're going to be willing themselves into the Super Bowl possibly. I mean, CMC leading the way. You also have Christian McCaffrey. Wait, what? Yeah, Christian McCaffrey leading the way. Sorry, guys. You also have Ricky Pearsall. George Kittle is back. Brock Purdy is back. You also have Mac Jones waiting in the wings if Brock Purdy does go down again. That offensive line with Trent Williams is very, very good. Defense is still somehow producing. I don't know how. So, yeah, Seahawks, 49ers, Rams, they're all contenders. So, there you go. Those are my contenders and pretenders NFL playoff edition. But I'm probably going to revisit this down the line when the actual playoffs are set with Miles, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of this episode. If you did like this episode, please leave a like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. If you're listening on any other podcast platforms, make sure you follow the show so you never miss another episode from here. If you did like this one, also go check out some of the other episodes we've done. We've done at least 30 more of these episodes at this point, maybe possibly more. So yeah, go check them all out. And don't forget to check out my NASCAR show, Talkin NASCAR with Andrew Volkman. I'll have a link down in the description down below. But that will do it for me. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Enjoy week 12 of the NFL, and I will see you very, very soon, possibly before Thanksgiving. But until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.